Welcome everyone. I'm Vanessa. I'm the responsible of events of AEIPRO. Me and my colleague Angela, manager director from AEIPRO, will be your hosts today. And this is the first webinar we are doing from a series of webinars regarding ProDiT project. We will have for the agenda of today first, Nargiza Mikhridinova. Oh, I promise I practiced that. Sorry. Coordinator of the Erasmus Plus project, ProDiT. And afterwards, Jesús Martínez Almela, IPMA chairman of the Council of Delegates. We will talk about what are the competencies for digital transformation. Nargiza, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vanessa. So welcome to our webinar, or also it's a first tech talk in our series on competences for digital transformation. I'm coordinator of this project, and I have an honor to open this tech talk series. And shortly about the project, what is it about? So this project is very big, almost 1 million euros budget, and the project is spread over 4 years. And here we have 5 universities and also 16 companies in different countries in Spain, Belgium, Germany, Netherlands, and Lithuania. And also one university we have in Norway. One of the core topics on what we are researching is competences and the digital transformation. We also have projectized organizations and in the digital era, knowledge and agile organizations, and sustainable digital transformation, which you can have here, the topic of University of the Basque Country. With this project, we want to achieve and produce different guidelines and white papers and standards via different channels, and many of them are IEEE and IPMA. We want to produce academic educational resources. Among them will be open educational resources, certification processes, and also curricular integration, which we want to connect with master programs. We want to produce also training resources, which we will then test with these companies, which you can see here among system companies. And also we want to achieve a certain success story due to this huge network of universities and companies. And let me explain why we want to focus today on this topic of competences and the digital transformation. Imagine you have such a digital transformation project, or some can call it digitalization project, with which you want to achieve a certain transformed state of your organization. So you will have projects which you want to staff, and every of these digitalization project will need to have certain competences, and every project will need different set of competences. From another side, you will need to have people, and those people, in order to be able to work on this digitalization project, will need to have a certain competences, right? But people cannot work and come to the team and work separately. So those competences also need to be able to form a proper project team. Over time, this team is working on this digitalization project and forming a certain competence profile of the project team. So from one side, we need competences for digitalization project. From another side, if we have a digital description of these competences, we can form a balanced team to achieve proper results and success of such a project. When we talk about competences, probably you can ask yourself what we mean by this. So if we look into literature, we can see that people can use those terms of competence and competency all the time, and sometimes they're mixing it. And if you look into competency, it could be description of skills, which is a person is supposed to have to possess in order to achieve a certain target. So, competence, actually, it's a measurement of skills. So we are coming to the point when the competence can be described with a certain description of skills or competence framework. And we will talk about it later, about competence framework for digital transformation. From another side, we can also see that the competence could be considered as a cluster. So it will be cluster of knowledge or cluster of skills, attitudes, and values, meaning that the competence could be described with a certain model. So which would be, for example, here we see certain ontology, which would be interrelation of different sets of abilities, knowledge, and skills of the person. So this is one of the topics in our project. And since we are considering digitalization project, I want to highlight what do we mean by this. So by digitalization or digital transformation project, we consider a certain project which is enable the company or organization to achieve the transformed state. So it could be affiliated with the change management processes, or for example, company wants to start using a new tool, meaning that they also will need to change the strategy or go through the change management processes. And in our project, we consider different views. So it could be project view, people view, impact view, organizational view. And those views, we want to consider from different perspectives how to manage digital transformation with projects, and also how to transform project management digitally. Let me explain those views in more detail. So imagine the organization is going from the as-is situation to to-be situation, and in this case, to-be will be a digitally transformed state, meaning that company needs to know what methodology to apply and also how to change the skills of people in the company, right? So people need to learn how to work with a new digital tool or how to change the company digitally. And also, and we consider the whole project, this project shouldn't be only the business or technology oriented, but also impact driven transformation. So meaning those are our 4 core topics: project, people, organization, and impact view in the Erasmus Knowledge Alliance project called ProDiT. And here, in order to come up with a structured description, what is the nature of this digitalization project, we are now currently working on the taxonomy, which is not existing yet. So we are developing with the help of these 5 universities and 16 companies on European level. And one of main categories in this taxonomy is resource planning, meaning that we are considering how to describe those projects from the perspective of resource planning. One of those will be competences and what competences are needed and so on. So while we interview our partners, one of core focuses, so we are asking those kind of questions you can see on the right side. What is the team size? Were the team outsourced to manage this kind of project? So meaning that one of outcomes will be that we will be able to describe those projects with such taxonomy, and then based on the case studies, we will be able to validate it. So maybe in like next year, we will be happy to tell about this result of the taxonomy, but today we will focus on resource planning and particularly on competences required for digital transformation. So I'm happy to give the word to Jesús Martín Almela, the leader of IPMA organization. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Nargiza. Very kind of you. You are very welcome. And let me share my screen now. Are you seeing? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and thank you for many of you for attending today. And I am reading very gladly that many of you from Asia and also Latin America, you are looking us, and this is really grateful. Thank you again for being here. It's not my intention to assert nothing, because as Nargiza, she very wisely present, competence is a wicked word. Okay, so it's a lack of misunderstanding or misperception regarding the real meaning about competence. And we need to address what is the meaning of competence in project management first, and second for project managers as well. So we need a different approaches, because we need not only to address individual competences, we need to address organizational competences. Otherwise, project managers will work really painfully. And one of the major challenges for the project managers is the lack of culture of project governance in the organizations. So in my humble presentation, I would like to focus in the objective, in the main goal, looking to build a common model for digital transformation, also helping to achieve this maturity model for a better organizational development, addressing this need about the degree of maturity about project governance. And at the end, yes, we need to set up, we need to identify, we need to inventory, and we need to define a kind of ecosystem for learning and training regarding the different sides of competence meaning. It's not only about individual competences. I think that you know all of you, the major part, 35 years working. Yeah, I have several hats, but basically I'm a practitioner. I dedicate a lot of time to the academy, to research, to cooperate, but I am a practitioner. I am running projects and programs worldwide for more than 35 years ago. It's a kind of obsession to me. I love to be identified as evangelizer of competence for human development, because competence is not only people having experience and knowledge, it's not only having skills. Skills is only a little part regarding the capability to growth. We need to know, we need to be, and we need how now we can do. Leading by example is about many kinds of skills. And this is quite relevant because more than ever, the capability to understand each other, to lead by example, managing emotional intelligence, and addressing a common vocabulary, sharing common tools, will impact as well in the meaning or the degree of understanding regarding the meaning of competence. In terms of institutionality, because the Spanish Association of IPMA is part of the project, and then the IPMA. IPMA is the largest, is the first international project management association in the world, founded closely 60 years ago, in 1965, and currently enhancing 71 national associations worldwide. Spanish Association is one of the 71, and since the beginning, IPMA don't talk only about techniques, methods, tools, processes for project management. Since more than 56 years ago, IPMA focused in the need to develop competences for project managers and program management and project management. And let me to introduce a little bit later regarding the approach with the IPMA competences-based standards. First message, I would like to share very briefly, in my best meaning the presentation will be available for you all afterwards, and I would like only underline something relevant, okay? And for ballots, for my message. First, as Nargiza, she presented at the beginning in the introduction, a systemic approach is needed, because we need to positioning what we are looking for, what is our perspective in this really ambitious project. Again, second one, common vocabulary, because a common vocabulary is needed for a better understanding. It's one of the major challenges and the weakness in any kind of project management boundary. The third part that I would like to share with you is findings. Many times we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Okay, let me share some standards really today and use it, who define competence, individual and organizational competence as well. Something regarding the need of transformation through digital culture. The SHINE approach is about the organizational culture. We need a digital culture as well. Many colleagues in the European Commission, in the European Union, are working on that. So we need to keep that one. We have an excellent inventory regarding the digital competence framework in different organisms, general directions in EU. And from the expert point of view, I think that this is one of the key ballots that from my practitioner point of view, also I can share with you regarding to enhancing organization and culture, people and mindset, process, methods, and technology tools, looking to make possible the transformation, addressing digital competences for project management and project managers as well. And I would like also to conclude briefly with a different approach, looking to manage and to work in a digital project society. I don't like to talk only about a project economy. Project economy is only a part of the project society, and we need to address project for the society. And consequently, we need competent project managers in a competent, wise, and mature project organizations, governance in project management. So for the first one, systemic approach. Again, I think that many of you knows this fable. You will certainly know this is the fable of the elephant and the seven blind wise men. Okay, was written by John Sexy in the 1865. So it's 6 wise men in some part of Indonesia are blind, so are touching the elephant. And yes, when each one touch the knee, the ear, the tail, the tusk, the trunk, those are really sure that they are that. But all together, all were in the wrong, because no one identified that these components are about an elephant. Okay. And that happens when we are addressing the meaning of competent project manager or competent project management organization. So many things need to be reviewed, to check, and I feel glad, happy when you are addressing this project and Erasmus and Knowledge Alliance, because I would like also to contribute a little bit, looking to make possible the clarification regarding the meaning of the different phases of the competence meaning. Okay. Second one, behind the elephant fable and the 6 and the 7 blind wise men. Still, many people are using expressions regarding the context in a wrong manner. People talking and talking and talking about the VUCA world. It's not yet true anymore. So the VUCA world disappeared 2 years ago, speeding up for many things. Probably the last one is because the SARS-CoV-19. Our context worldwide today, for many reasons, is a bunny world. It's something who is absolutely different, and their competence for project and project management must be a little bit different, or quietly different, or something new approach to the competence. Our context that must be managed for the millennials and Z generation, which the approach regarding the motivation, regarding the degree of commitment and engagement change absolutely. So we are addressing something in a world who is brittle, is anxious, is not linear, and this is comprehensible. And there we need to evolve. We need to work in a different and new perspective. The current situation is absolutely different. Emotions, things, who can be capable just 1.5 years ago, just practically releasing the end of the pandemic, a war in the heart of Europe, the price of the energy, inflation rising in Europe 11%. So this is an example of the bunny world. And then we need to build different approaches for different competences for the project managers and project management. So challenge is first provide a common vocabulary because it's needed for a better understanding. And the first one is a project is not an island. Project needs to be managed under programs, and programs must be directed by portfolios. When you are addressing some project with wise and professional project managers without culture in project management in your organization, because you have not set project governance with corporate strategy, you will fail. So you can find a lot of inventories, vocabulary definition regarding individual competences. But if you have not organizational competences, if you have not governance culture in project management, you will fail, because the individual competences will not grow, will not evolve, and the people will leave. Second one is the need to understand what is the value that the deliverable made by the project means. What is the value regarding the strategy? So from vision and mission, fitting the strategy, corporate strategy, through the portfolio strategy. Because project is ever a venture, will born and will death with the deliverable. So project start and conclude with the deliverable from the first stage of the life cycle to the end. So it's a temporary organization. And many times we forgot that. Then how we can implement the structures through competences for project, program, and portfolio management. So the main challenge is the second part of this slide. When you see under the venture, this box improvisation, in the major part of the organizations addressed in projects, you can find a very nice definition of processes, how to run operations, projects, blah, 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 is the permanent organization line, and the venture organization, who is the project boundary. And then in the middle is no air. In the middle is not a bridge. In the middle is no nothing, or scarcely. And then we have improvisation. Because we have not sitting, we are not building this bridge, looking corporate strategy with project strategy and the meaning regarding the integrative management. So integrative management is needed, looking to facilitate not only the application when defined, the competences for individuals, we need to define which kind of corporate competences we need. So what is the context, internal and external? It's about culture, it's about strategy, it's about processes, it's about this, how we can align strategic guidelines from tactical and operative implementation. We need to control, we need to manage, we need to report, but not only in terms of individual competences. We need, once again, competences for governance. We need degree of maturity in management. So the third part, sharing something. Probably many of you know the 4 standards in AEIPRO-IPMA based in competences. Many competences defined in 3 different domains: project, program, and portfolio, in 3 areas: perspective, people competences, and practice competence. So the ICB defined 3 domains, 3 areas, and 29 elements of competence. We have another standard defining competences for projects, how you can build projects and programs based in competences. The third standard who define organizational competences will to develop and manage. In managing by projects, it's not project management, it's managing by projects, the OCB, addressing organizational competence. And more recently, this was approved this year by the Council, helping the sustainability, the research baseline. So making possible these competences for people involved in research and project management and all this. These 4 standards are defining competences for individuals, for projects, for teams working in projects and programs, for people working in organization, not only in projects, aligning resources, aligning management, aligning people competence and people governance. So one of the most important messages to me for you today is we need also to define clearly at the boundary of the organizational competence, how the organization can integrate people, resources, processes, structures, and cultures, looking to support the governance of the management systems in the projects. I would like not to invest too much time explaining that, because this is the basic, this is the historical ICB, individual competence baseline, with these 29 elements of competence in 3 areas for the 3 domains: project, program, and portfolio. The most important is, and this is also a message to all of you in AEIPRO-IPMA, you can find, it's ready for all, the structures for the curriculums in education, competence-based education and training for different levels, also aligned with the AQF levels. So there you can find also a lot of information regarding one of the 7 pillars of digital transformation. Another message regarding another wise approach. I find in this book in Spanish, I remember another books in different languages, addressing transformation, addressing the transformation of the organization through the digital culture. And there you can find 8 pillars, 8 areas, addressing, also if you compare, the definitions are quite similar from other authors or for other people addressing things regarding on the definition of the competences. But I like that one because it's close to the concept of Shine model for organizational culture. So it's focusing in the we need a culture for digitization. The third thing we have at home. So it was published last June. So it's 5 months old. So it's the EU Digital Competence Framework, based in 6 conceptual reference models, indicating a kind of key competence indicators for this conceptual reference model. And then they are identifying 8 key competences. A key competence is also related with critical stakeholders inside the European Union. So it's part of the key competence framework who many of you probably know, the so-called lifelong learning for interlinking with other competences. So there, with these 8 competences, also it's quite wise to have a look to this publication, because they are also identifying in a wise manner the stakeholder context, where the competences can impact in individuals, how the professionals can help, and how the organizations can use that one. Have a look if you don't know, because you can identify, you can find something interesting there. And from the practitioner point of view, okay, 4 values based in 3 pillars. We need, of course, agile mindset. It's not about the agile framework. It's not only about methods and methodology. We need an agile mindset. We need to know how in project change and process management. And again, we need a holistic transformation approach. Addressing these 3 pillars, I would like to share 4 areas. The first one is something related with organization and culture. Someone is also expressed it previously in the presentation, but this is a procedimental approach and holistic approach. Look at, hey, we need to have and to share competences regarding a common purposes, vision, and mission. Sharing a strategy. We need a transformation office. PMOs are very old. We need transformation offices. We need governance structure. We need to translate that one in the project organization. We need a clear definition of roles and responsibilities. It's zero tolerance to no collaboration. The future of any organization is people engaged, people committed. Both commitment without engagement not works. Radical collaboration, empowerment, that is related with leadership, and transparency in communication. People don't like no clear communication, wide words. People are looking for transparency. And this is the second pillar, the second area from these 3 pillars: people and mindset. We need values, we need agility, we need leadership, understanding the leadership, employee engagement, expectation, behavior, fault tolerance, related with the previous one. So because we need to share values, we need to manage agility, we need to preach by example, leadership, more adaptive and supportive as well, employees engagement, expectations, behaviors, fault tolerance, is again culture, and continuous learning. And yes, we need to manage common processes and methods. We need something, we need a project. We need a plan, a readiness for transformation. We need change management. It's a project itself. We need to manage all together. It's not about if the true or not true, the best or the less best. Is about adaptive or predictive project management approach. Both are useful, depending of the deliverable, depending of the organization, depending of many things. And yes, we need to monitoring and we need to define not only KPIs, TCRs, critical success factors. Only maybe only with KPIs will be not enough, but we need to perform. We need to monitoring the application of the competence. We need to measure the development of competences, and at any time, customer-oriented processes. Stupid procedures produce stupid people with stupid behaviors. So we need oriented processes. And finally, for sure, technology and tools, how to manage the knowledge, how to integrate tools, collaborative platforms, and again, new and old technologies. So we are in the practice working on that, addressing projects as tool for transformation, and then to develop the digital competences, speeding up the transformation. Okay, so as conclusion, it's just a wrap up. Okay, it's my personal perception that we must work in this chain of value. We need again to work and to explore how the new competences related with the digitization can looks like for individuals, for project teams, for project-oriented organization, and yes, for project-oriented societies. And this is related with the pattern of self-organization. The characteristic of components of works, the relation between the systems, the use innovative of the methods and tools, and the characteristic, of course, of the system of the context. And then again, have a look to these full IPMA global standards, and there you have a minimum inventory. I would like to suggest to you to work in this individual, project, and organizational competences: self-reflection, self-management, integrity and reliability, personal communication, relationship, leadership and teamwork, peer development, education and training, coaching, and yes, part of education, education, simulation and gaming, and in the field of governance of project management. In terms of competence, organizational competence, work more in governance, in structure, culture and values, and in the domain of practice, how you can define better competences looking to organize and to share information and to address change and transformation. And this is currently our work. The less fine is that we are not managing and working in digital project society. So it's growing and growing and growing, the deployment of the project for digital transformation, but many times is something who is not clearly defined. We will find many ways of projects, and we need to work in coordination and handle influences for the success. And we are also addressing something, because we are now seeing that a new organizational archetypes are popping up. So the project-based organization, when the PMO is more transformation office, it's not only the classic PMO in a PBO, a project supported organizations, project networks, and probably another no one. So as final reflection, if all of us would like to address digital competences for project management and project managers, we need to work in these five tasks related with knowledge, related with skills, related with behavior, related with significance. So task skills, gaining skills using the digital technologies, task identities, not routine, and task significance. This will have to increase the sense of work relevance for the people. Task autonomy, looking for possibilities to choose digital technologies, tools, and use. This will help to increase the sense of choice of the responsibility. And the task feedback, because we are addressing something new. So we need feedback, we need the traceability, we need credible information. So how we can enhance the work with information, true information, not fake information. So how we can define individual and organizational competences that can increase the motivation. And then to manage the quality of these inputs, outputs, when we are collecting the results of the applied competence for both sides, project governance and individuals managing individual competence for project management. And this was my humble contribution today. hope that this can be useful for the future. And as ever, you will kind of me for your future paths. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.
Thank you very much, Jesús. As always, it's a pleasure hearing you talking about project management. So now we are going to open the mics for questions. If you have any question, you can raise your hand, and Angela will give you the opportunity to talk. Feel free to ask anything to any of them, to Nargiza or to Jesús. No hands?
Hi there. Sorry.
Go on, Alfredo.
Thank you. Yeah, I was wondering if you could share this information later on through an email or things like that.
Well, we are recording the presentation and it's going to be available. So we will send you the link with the information. Don't worry. Not today for sure, but maybe next week.
Thank you so much.
That's Christmas gift.
Christmas gift, yeah.
Oh, I am afraid to say
No
not
questions.
too much clear.
Too clear. You're both too clear when you speak, so we don't have any doubts. Okay, so if there aren't any questions, you are free to go. Thank you very much. We will see you next TED Talk. We will have at least 3 more TED Talks around product projects. You will receive the information as you were subscribed to this event. Feel free to write in us if you need any further information. See you in the next one. Bye.
Happy
Bye.
projects. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Happy New
thank
Year.
you.
Bye.
The same for
Bye.
you. Thanks a lot.
See you soon.
Bye.
Carsten, bye-bye. Tschüss.
Bye, Jesús.
Ciao.